Congress is all set to hold protests and demonstrations. Congress interim President Sonia Gandhi will appear before the Enforcement Directorate today morning in connection with the National Herald AGL money laundering case. Top Congress leaders have planned to gather at the AICC headquarters in the national capital to express solidarity with the President.
A meeting was held at senior MP Arjun Kharge's residence in the evening yesterday, where a plan was chalked out for today regarding the Congress's strategy that is being adopted inside as well as outside the Parliament, where the monsoon session is underway.
Remember, similar protests were held when Sonia Gandhi's son and former party president Rahul Gandhi had been questioned by the ED in June in the same case, and that time we saw major demonstrations, we saw major security as well, and party workers, party leaders, MPs, chief ministers all had courted arrest when Rahul Gandhi had been summoned for questioning, and remember that had gone on for a few days. And today as well, there's tight security outside the Congress office, so the police also ready, with those barricades, etc., as Sonia Gandhi will be questioned by the ED.
Right, Rahul Gandhi was questioned over 5 days, and do remember every day he was questioned for maybe over 10 hours per day. So will that also happen with Sonia Gandhi being the big question? What time is she expected to appear? Those are visuals from right outside Sonia Gandhi's residence.
And Jairam Ramesh tweeted yesterday that tomorrow, as the political vendetta unleashed by the Modi-Shah duo against our top leadership continues, the entire Congress party across the country will demonstrate its collective solidarity with the Sonia Gandhi in the most telling manner. So plans there, and as you can see, police is also ready with barricades, and people, some of the people there are arriving. It's not clear who they are, but let's go across to Arvind for more on this. So Arvind, are we going to see a repeat of what we saw those days when Rahul Gandhi had been summoned for questioning by the ED?
Yeah, Gargi, in all likelihood, it will be much more kind of a protest that we can expect. The vigor of the protest we can expect to be much more when you compare it with former Congress President Rahul Gandhi when he was summoned by the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in the National Herald case. In fact, as per the Congress party strategy, in fact, they have called for an opposition leaders meeting inside the Parliament at 10 a.m. wherein it would be chaired by leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha Mallikarjuna Kharge. After the meeting with the opposition parties, Congress MPs will also be meeting to decide the strategy for inside the Parliament, how to protest against this alleged misuse of central agencies. So at around 11 a.m. when both the houses begin, almost all the like-minded opposition parties will come together and they will protest inside the Parliament, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, against this alleged misuse of central agencies. That's what they have planned. And after that, almost all the Congress MPs will then move to Congress headquarters. That's their plan. Once the Parliament is adjourned, then they will be moving to Congress headquarters, where they want to take out a march from Congress headquarters to Enforcement Directorate. But according to our sources in Delhi police, that though all these Congress MPs will be allowed to proceed to the Congress headquarters, but they won't be allowed to move towards the Enforcement Directorate. They would be restrained or they would be detained if they proceed towards the Enforcement Directorate. So the Delhi police have also beefed up the security across the national capital, and also very important junction towards Enforcement Directorate have already been barricaded by the Delhi police, but the Congress party leaders and also Congress workers have been mobilized across the national capital to march towards the Enforcement Directorate. But coming to the Enforcement Directorate side, what our sources are saying is that Sonia Gandhi has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in the National Herald matter somewhere around 11 o'clock. She has to appear before the agency at around 11 o'clock. But keeping her health issues in mind, unlike Rahul Gandhi, the questioning of Sonia Gandhi won't take such a long time, because Rahul Gandhi, we did see he was questioned for almost 10 hours a day, and it went on for almost 5 consecutive days. Almost 50 hours he was questioned by the Enforcement Directorate, but that won't be the case with Sonia Gandhi. That's what our sources are hinting at, because keeping her health issues in mind, the Enforcement Agency, the Enforcement Directorate is also trying to conclude the investigation or wrap up the questioning of Sonia Gandhi at a much faster time.